Здравствуйте, уважаемые зрители!
Hello, dear viewers. We welcome you at the international discussion of the conference Global Crisis Time for the Truth, which took place on December 4th, 2021. Real heroes, brave people, who broke the silence, who voiced the truth and held this large-scale event with translation into 100 languages, with the sole aim of bringing vital information to all of humanity in changing the vector of our society from a consumerist to a constructive one, so that a person's life become a priority.
Yes, and exactly these 10,000 of people who understand that, who understand the importance of removing the root cause of all of these crises that we see around the world today, are right now organizing one another global event, and this is going to be an international forum which will be called Global Crisis. We are people, we want to live. And it will be held on May 7th, 2022 on thousands of platforms. And it's going to be translated online into more than 100 languages. And we are inviting all of the honest and concerned people, eyewitnesses of climate disasters, people who deal with human slavery, with refugees, with victims of human trafficking, to this international forum. We would also like to invite scientists and experts to join us and tell everyone the truth.
With us today are people who unfortunately know firsthand what it's like to become a refugee in the consumerism format of society. Our guests are Hassan Khan Sherazi, a social worker from Pakistan, and Sahil Zabih, a refugee from Afghanistan in Indonesia. Hello, dear friends. The topic of today's international discussion is refugees. A refugee is a person just like you and me. He too has lived his life. He also made plans for his future, but at some point his life changed and he got that awful status in our consumerist format of society, a refugee. What happens to people when they are forced to leave their homes? How abruptly this can happen? After all, no one goes about the day thinking that he become a refugee tomorrow.
Valued in consumer format of society, as we can see. And when you get the refugee status, you become defenseless at all. How is this actually possible at all in our today's society? Do you think it's normal that this happens? That there are more than 40 million slaves in our modern society, according to official statistics. I would like to invite you now to watch a short video that was introduced at the conference, which was dealing the topic of refugees.
Why is there such inhuman treatment of people? I was thinking about it and decided to figure it out.
You will never spend a month without being attacked with a xenophobic attack, because they say as a foreigners we are stealing their work. I've lost that hope of being in the great society. I don't know, I've lost that hope because seeing the way that people are being killed, seeing the way that people are being shot in my eyes.
A child can be sold many times. I remember one day I came across the story of a girl who was, she was Turkish. She had been sold 17 times, and she had been trafficked from one country to another 17 times, and she had experienced only rape.
I also sat in many auctions as a customer, as an undercover when I was doing the undercover. There where we were sitting for the auctions, 9-year-old girl, 10-year gold card as per the demands. So the trade called the first time sex. Whenever the auctions will happen, new girls arrive in the trade. So they put the auctions. So who will bid the last demand, the money? That person only will use that became full night for his choice.
The business that is made of spare parts, the human spare parts. How many children have been transferred from one place to another and then being operated on for some rich guys in different parts of the world to get a kidney or get something else from their bodies against their will?
Black market, traffickers, mafia is part of this economy that is ruling the world. So what else I can say? That I only see that the other possibility is to spend money instead of constructing walls like we are doing in Europe.
In our society, human life has no value. How is it possible that instead of help, people encounter violence, aggression, abuse, and slavery? This is not a migration crisis, but this is a crisis of humaneness.
People, by looking at the existing legal frame, will not ever be entitled asking for protection. Because you will ask them which country you're coming from, they will say there is no country. I had a country called X, but the country now is underwater. Or I had a village and this village is being totally destroyed or disappearing.
It turns out that there are still no effective programs for the resettlement of refugees. For so many years, the United Nations has been working. For so many years, the Refugee Rights Commission has been working. So many humanitarian organizations and NGOs around the world have been working, but there are no working, established or adopted programs on how to work with these refugees. There are none. And the Refugee Commission itself admits this.
Now refugees are forced to leave their homes. They face condemnation and cruelty. They are left alone with their misfortune because of the consumerist format of society. Tomorrow's climate catastrophes could be upon us as well. Answer yourself honestly. Are you ready to face what refugees face? Are you sure you won't be in their shoes? That you and your loved ones won't have to go through what they're going through.
So, dear viewers, as we have seen the real situation that people who suddenly lose their home and everything they've had, how does it look like? Which is very sad. And so we have got the first question for our guest, Hassan. Could you please share with us your experience about how refugee people and people in remote areas live, please? Thank you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum from Pakistan. So yes, I was visit before a month to the remote area and also to the refugees. So yeah, the situation is very bad because they are the people, they come from Afghanistan as a refugees and they come walk through the border, maybe within like 14 or 15 days they spend on the way to back. There is a small village. They are living local peoples, like a shepherd. There is no any access like this, no road, no hospital, and no schools. So the refugees people are living with them. So yeah, the local people, they are just help them, but not too much. Little bit they are helping them. So the condition was very bad. They are living. There is many problems, like they have no wood for fire to make warm, or like not too much food to eat. There is a big problem. So I spent 7 days with them and then back. Yeah, there was too much snow and too much cold, so that's why.
Хасан, спасибо вам огромное за ту
Hassan,
информацию,
thank you
которую
very
вы
much for the
рассказали, за
information
то,
you
что
have
вы
shared,
сами лично
for the fact that
видели,
you yourself
участвовали
personally
и
saw,
принимали
participated, and tried to
возможную
help as
помощь,
much as you could.
старались оказать. И знаете,
You know,
даже страшно подумать,
it is
папа, это когда
frightening to
человек,
think
попавший
when
вот в
it
такую
is like
ситуацию,
when a
где
person
не
who has
решается
been in a
выбор,
situation
где,
where
казалось бы,
they
ему не
have
удалось
lost their
выжить,
home,
спастись
where
вот в
they
том
believe they
катаклизме
have
или
survived and been
военных
saved
действиях.
after a
Поэтому
cataclysm
спасибо
or a
совсем рядом.
military action,
Но
and here
вот
is
то, что вы
salvation.
рассказываете, что
It is
происходит
just
дальше.
around the corner,
Ведь
but what you
многие
are
из этих
telling
людей
us is
встречают
what
своей
happens
смерть уже
next. After all,
после
many of these
каких-либо
people meet their
глобальных
death
вот таких
after
ситуаций. И абсурд
any
всего
global
этого
such
заключается в
situations,
том, что
and the
этих
absurdity
людей
of
убивают
it is
не
all is
стихия,
that
не
these
военные
people are
действия,
killed not by
та
elements,
самая
not by military
потребительская
action,
система,
but the
где
very
человеческая жизнь,
consumerism system
наша с
where
вами
human
жизнь,
life,
ничего не
you and
стоит.
I, is worthless.
И
And I
хотелось
would
бы
like to
задать
ask
вопрос Сахилу.
ask a question to Sahil.
В каких условиях
In what
продолжают
conditions
жить
do
люди,
people
выживать
continue
люди?
to live and
Что происходит в
survive?
лагерях?
What is happening
Почему
in the
люди
camps?
там
Why
умирают?
are people
Сахил,
dying there?
поделитесь, пожалуйста.
Will you please
Once
share,
again,
Sahil?
thank you for the time to give me that I share some experience that I had with the refugees, not only refugees, with this society. Unfortunately, I face lots of difficult things, and while I'm abandoned my country, especially when I arrived here, I saw so many difficulties with the refugees' life in Indonesia. I saw it before, and when I was in Pakistan, as my brother Hassan says, in Pakistan, the situation of Afghanistan is always, it's more than 50 years that there is war is going on. So it forced the people to abandon their homeland. So they become homeless, they live, and they are, as you see, all around the world, we can find asylum seeker and as well refugees from Afghanistan. It's because of the situation of their country. In Iran, in Turkey, in Yunnan, in India, and as well as Malaysia, in Indonesia, there are many, not only in Malaysia, not only Afghan refugees, there are from Myanmar as well. As you know, the Myanmar is also war going on. In Indonesia, as I experienced the difficulties, times that I face, there was two close friends together lived, and one of them unfortunately committed suicide inside the bed, the bathroom. As if you see, the rooms of refugees are so small, and the bathroom is also inside the rooms. So this person is trying to open the door and call his friends, but unfortunately he already passed away while he shared this experience with the others. So it was so heartbreaking. The question is that all around the world, a dozen of refugees are dying, committing suicide, stress, depressions. So why there is no any acceleration from UNHCR, which is related to the refugees, to create hope among the refugees? This questions always killing me. Why there is no any trying, no any acceleration from this United Nations? I had many meetings with UNHCR officer in this city. Yes, even I had 2 Zoom meeting with the Jakarta officer. So they just saying they are just lying to us. They are just saying you have to wait. Even one of the officer is also a refugee. He is from Vietnam. He is from Vietnam and he is refugee in US, America. I asked him, yeah, how long you didn't go to meet your family, your children? He says it's almost 6 months. I said, how you feeling missing your families? He said, oh my God, it's so difficult. I feel it's so long time. I miss lots my family, my mom, my children, my wife. At that time, I asked him, so why you do not feel the refugees? I stay here more than 8-9 years. So how about my family? I'm not a human according to your mind, your feeling, your heart. So I cannot miss my family, or I don't have the right to be like you. Refugees are also deserve a normal life. They need to be free. Why you keep the refugees in this limbo? If you, for example, if you cannot find a solution for them, after 3 years, you have 3 years before your refugee card will expire. You have tell the refugees that I cannot find any solution for you guys. You can go find another way for your future. And instead, you keep them here. You know, in here, there are many families as well. They came before, they didn't have children. Now their children are going younger, without any going to school, study, anything. So what will happen to them, to their future? Because in here, refugees are not allowed to, because Indonesia is a country like transit, right? So in transit, they are not allowed to work, to study. They have just only a refugee card that that refugee card that they are not allowed to buy even a SIM card for their handphone. That refugee card just for the staying their accommodation, the accommodation that is closed at 10 p.m. Now my accommodation is already locked till tomorrow's 7 o'clock. The security guard locked the door and do not want to open, for example, till tomorrow 7 o'clock. It means it's a kind of jail, right? The refugees are keeping in the jail. And also the refugees are not allowed to go out of this city. And they are just stay here till finish their process. The process that is already taken 10 years of. We don't know how, for example, when a refugee with a lots of hope calling the United Nations to get promising news from UNHCR, but unfortunately, their answer, what is their answer? They says, we didn't send you any invitation to come here. If you want to stay in here for an unknown period of time, so stay. If you don't want, turn back to your country. Many times I asked to IOM in Indonesia, please let me turn back to my country because my families are need me. 6 months ago, before Taliban taken all Afghanistan, my brother Hassan know about Afghanistan, what's going on, and what is Taliban? They are so dangerous. Before they came to Afghanistan, all the people are afraid. My younger sister crying. Says, what will happen to us? My small kids crying, what will happen to us? You are not here. Who will help us? I asked UNHCR, just please let me go back. They said, there is no embassy of your country to accept you. Just I asked them, what will happen to my family? I'm the responsible of that family. I have to help them. They said, we don't care about your family. The important thing is that you are at least alive here. I asked them, the refugees are not, you just mean the refugees are just be alive, or they have deserve to live. Alive and live is different. We also have the right to live, to enjoy our life, freedom. But you keep them and tell them that you at least alive here. This is the reality of this world. A highest level of human rights. When doing something like this, so what will we expect? What should we expect from local, from government? I hope this has become, I think, if we have like this organization all around the world, we cannot see some changes. I hope just the people can change it. Thank you. I'm hearing from others.
This is, well, at least for me, shocking information, and for many of our viewers also eye-opening that people who are, due to a war conflict, forced to leave a country that is not inhabitable, and they are forced to move to another country where they are not welcome at all. And as Sahil said, they are held there like in a jail without having the possibility to go outside of the city. And this is really something that should not be in today's society. But as we see, this is the truth. And my next question goes to Hassan. So, Hassan, why do you think it's impossible to make, let's say, a good life, a life worth of human for these people in the current format of society?
Yes. Well, it's not impossible. Maybe it's possible if we can do it. All the humanity they are living around the world. It's not like a Sahil. Sahil is in Bangladesh. He is from Afghanistan. I know the condition of Afghanistan better, because here in Pakistan, here is many refugees from Afghanistan. So the Pakistan government didn't treat like this, which Sahil is talking now. So here, the refugees, they are open. They are going to the market and they are walking around. They have problem, yes, I know, because they are facing many problems, but they are not living like this, where Sahil is living right now. So it's a shocking also for me when Sahil talk about. So it's possible if we can create a creative society or this thing. So maybe all the people, all the people need this everywhere, around the world. Everyone need freedom. Even I am from Pakistan. Yes, I also need the freedom. I want to finish the borders behind everywhere, every country. We need to live in peace. We can connect each other easily. We can go to each other easily. But it's must to be implement the creative society in the Parliament House. And I'm trying to pass this message everywhere around Pakistan, because I belong from the north, as from the remote areas of Pakistan. I also belong from the northern area of Pakistan. So we are facing many problems in Pakistan. So it's must for everyone to implement and join the creative society. Yes, the youth know about the creative society, it's all soon the people can join and they can go to the parliament house, or maybe they can implement these things.
Can I also have one supplementary question? And Sahil mentioned that in Indonesia, they can't rely on the organizations, on UN and others. How's the situation in Pakistan? Can the people rely on these sort of organizations to help them?
Yes, it's somewhere. It's Sahil is going to. It's right. Yeah, somewhere maybe. Here in Pakistan, here's a different people. Maybe here's also mafia. They are doing these things, but not at all too much here. Because if you fund for someone, like you are a donor, you are funding me, and I am supporting the people. It's depend on me how I am doing it, or how many I am doing to the people, or I am going to the people and to give them or not. So yeah, it's depend on the people to do these things. But yeah, here in Pakistan also the people are telling this because you have the NGO or like this, you have a trust, so you are raising fund from another countries like US or somewhere from China and like this. So if you are a right person, if you are a truth person, you can do this correctly. If not, so yeah, it's like this. Some mafia, they are using the money. It's on, or it's our luxury.
Thank you, and passing the word to Natasha.
Yes, what we heard from our guests is really shocking. This is some astounding information. And frankly speaking, it is surprising that most people in our world today believe that organizations that deal with migrants, with refugees, fully cover their expenses, fully provide them with housing, the necessary medicine and food. And on TV, we see how wonderful everything is, and that people who became refugees are protected by organizations. And we, as ordinary people, as ordinary citizens, seeing such information on TV, just relax. We shift the responsibility to these organizations. They are dealing with this, they know how to do it, and then we forget about these people. We live our own lives without caring what happens to them next. And so, what our guests have now shared is how absurd this system is, how incompetent it is, how unhelpful it is in reality. In fact, it turns out we can be certain that if some dire situation in the world happens, we are going to be provided with what we need. What Sahil said now makes it clear that these organizations, in fact, deprive people of their right to choose their freedom, and that refugees become prisoners. They can see their loved ones, they can't move freely, and they can work. And that's monstrous. Friends, do we really live in a world today where this happens to ordinary people who yesterday lived a normal human life and today they're just prisoners for no reason at all? Is it really normal for us today? It is monstrous. I would like also to address a question to Sahil about daily life in those camps, in those places where people gather after they have survived some kind of war or some climate situation, and they manage to survive. What happens to these people next? What their fate is? Exactly in terms of support from organizations. In addition to what we have already heard, that these organizations prohibit movement, have they provided some minimal housing, minimal means of substance or not? If their medicine, how it happens, how do children live beyond the fact they have no schooling. What else do residents of such camps faced? Could you please share more details so everyone in the world today can see and hear it?
Well, thank you so much. There is an IOM organization in Indonesia as well. IOM support refugees. How they support is important. The medical that for refugees also human. They become sick. They need to go to doctor, and they need to eat. They need to drink. So, how the IOM support them? For example, each refugees, they give for the refugees for their foods, for their clothes, for their shoes, for their shampoo, sabons, everything. It depends to the refugees. Even they want to spend it in a one day, or and it divide to 13 days, 1 month. They give around $90 USA. So it become in a day, I think $3, right? $3 in a day for eating, for everything they give. So it's so less for continue the life. About to the medical treatments. If a person gets sick, we have lost in this city, only in this city, as I told you, in Indonesia, there are 13,000 refugees are from different countries. Only 70, but only 7,500 refugees are from Afghanistan. So, in this city that we have only 1,250 refugees, we lost in the hospital 12 refugees. What for we lost them? Because of the lower quality of medical that is supported by IOM. The dirtiest hospital IOM contact for the refugees. If a person gets sick, for example, there is a limit of sick. For example, if I God forbid, if I got a heart problem, the IOM will not support me. This is the money, the amount of money of hospital will go higher. So we will not support, we cannot pay it. We lost in one day, in 12 hours, we lost 2 of our friends in a hospital. When we ask, we go and did demonstration in front of hospital, why you killed our friends, our refugees. We do not have any family here. So we should be our family together. For example, he is my friend, that is my friend, that is my sister. All can become like a close family, help each other, and take care of each other. We asked the doctor says, of course, he become, if he support, if he has money, he become good. He didn't die. But unfortunately, IOM didn't support. IOM said, it's not in the category that I mentioned you. Every medicine that IOM said to give to the refugee is only painkiller. Only painkiller. After 1, 2, 3 years, the guy will die. And IOM doesn't care. 12% among 1,000 refugees is so big amount of dying, right? In 1,000, only 1,000. Inside 1,000 refugees, 12% die in hospital. Without one person in this city commits suicide. So the life of refugees, to be honest, in here is so hard. Every day when I wake up, I'm waiting for a bad news from my friends. As I told you, I am a coordinator in here. All the refugees are calling me when something happened, because I'm fighting with the doctors. Always I'm texting, please doctor, don't let him die. He has family. He's the supporter of one family. His mother is waiting him only for 1 minute meeting. Don't let him die. You have lots of money coming from different country to you because you have a big name. But the reality, you are a mafia. They says, sorry, it's not in our rule to support that kind of sickness. So if for example, a person got that sickness, so who will help him? He is not allowed to work, to earn their life. So what will happen to him? For me, if I got problem with my heart, with, for example, stomach, and I got accident in the road, the doctor will not accept me in hospital. It's not in the category of IA. So what will happen to me? Who will support me? I'm not working here. They are not allowing me to work. So where is the humanity? That's why the refugees are a lot, the depression, stress in here, and we have lots of refugees die here day by day. I don't know what to say, what to name this life. It feels like there is no such a human things in Indonesia, in Indonesia law. I feel it, I experience it in 10 years I see here through over the years. That's the reality of UNHCR and IOM, which is the highest level of human rights. If we see like this from highest level of UNHCR, before I expect a lot from UNHCR. I said, there is a human rights by the name of UNHCR. They will help me. They will help the refugees. They will take care of refugees. But when I experience in this 10 years in here, to be honest, now I don't have even 0% of, what does it mean, to the United Nations. I forgot the vocabulary, sorry.
Trust.
Yeah, sorry. Now 0% I cannot trust UNHCR. Everything they are like. You know, the problem is that they show the different real situation to the out of Indonesia. For example, in Geneva, they have, I'm sure, the middle class for UNHCR is the Geneva, right? So each 3 months, they have to share their activities to the Geneva. But unfortunately, they share everything is nice going on here in Indonesia. When we sent a letter to Geneva, they said, we have comments from UNHCR Indonesia. The life of refugees are going well there. They have freedom. They have the right to study. They are so well there. Their life is good. I said, please, once, come here and see the reality, what's going on. I'm listening to others.
Thank you. Thank you, Sahil. Yes, this only proves how savage, and absurd this current consumer format of society is, where the profits and money is on the first place and human life somewhere at the very bottom. And your experience also confirms the assumption that today human rights are only on a paper. So the paper shows something else, that what happens in reality. And this is what we can see in many situations. But there are also other aspects that the refugees, as we've experienced, face. And this is the change of the climate. Recently, I've seen videos where refugees in the camps froze to death. I think it was in Pakistan and also in Syria. And so I also wanted to ask Hassan, we know that you know how this organization work from inside. Do you think that what they do, because you mentioned that in Pakistan the situation is a little bit better, do you think that what these organizations do for the refugees, is it sufficient, taking into consideration all of the aspects of their life? And what could be done better? And can we even count on them, rely on them? Please turn on your microphone, we can't hear you.
Yes, sorry. Yes, here is many like the NGO, they are working here, and also there is good. The thing which side talking is true. Somewhere it's only a paper. It's just a paper. They are showing the things. They are doing these things, but it's not a reality. It's not the reality. But somehow here the peoples are working. Mostly people, because I'm a social. I'm traveling everywhere around Pakistan, and I'm also I joined the peoples on the mountain, in the cities, and seeing the situation, the conditions. Yes, somehow it's better here in Pakistan. They are working. There is not too much big NGOs, but the small trusts is a small trust. So the people are working. But yeah, it's right. Somewhere it's only a paper. It's just show the paper. They are working. Also, maybe in a government sector and a private sector, they are just doing the papers. But here is best, because we visit the people here, the refugee people here in Islamabad and also on the remote areas. So they are okay, because they are not like in a jail or like something. They are open here. They are working as well. If they want to do some job, so they can go to the job. And also the government or also the NGOs, they are helping them here. They are giving some food, like some blankets or the things. But at the far place, like in the mountain or somewhere, yeah, they are surviving in a tough life, because there is no access to go, no access of road and like this. So yeah, they are suffering our life there. It's a tough life on the mountain.
And do you think that...
огромное. Спасибо, Hassan.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Sahil, for the information that you have just shared from the inside. You have shown all the pain of these people who become refugees. And now I would like to address you, dear viewer. Do you think the information they show on the official channels in the media today is really true, telling us that these people are doing well, that there is proper care for refugees, for migrants, that they live in normal conditions, in human conditions? And are you ready to be in their shoes? I will explain why I'm asking this question, because today there is an increase in climate disasters all over the world, and no country is safe from another climatic blow. And now let's watch a video which very widely shows what is happening now all over the planet and what consequences of the cataclysms await for us.
Today, scrolling through the newsfeed, we see how natural disasters are increasing around the world. But if we look around, it may seem to us that cataclysms occurring in other countries or on other continents do not concern us because they are so far away. However, the reality is just the opposite. Our planet has entered a phase of instability and anomalies. While one part of the planet is drowning, another one is dying from droughts. Drought is about to become the next pandemic, and there is no vaccine to cure it. Most of the world will be living with water stress in the next few years. Demand will outstrip supply during certain periods, said Mami Mitsutori, the UN Secretary General's Special Representative for Disaster Risk Reduction. Shortage of drinking water is not even a catastrophe, it is death. This year, 2021, marked the first water shortage in the Colorado River, which provides water to about 40 million people in the western United States and more than 10,000 square miles of farmland. The Colorado River feeds two major reservoirs, Lake Mead and Lake Powell. Its water level has dropped to its lowest level on record. This year alone, drought and water shortages have significantly changed the usual human life on almost all continents. The effects of drought are already directly affecting many people and are getting worse. Food shortages, a spike in commodity prices. Has this already affected you? Or are you still not seeing this? The dry summer of 2021 in Kazakhstan led to an overall decrease in yields and livestock deaths. In 2020, Kazakhstan exported about 8 million tons of grain to 40 countries, but the forecast of grain exports for 2021 has decreased by almost 30%, down to about 6 million tons. According to the president of Kazakhstan, the declining wheat harvest in several regions of Kazakhstan will jeopardize food security in the Central Asian region by 2030. This is a simple, practical example that the fight against climate change is our common cause. Shallowing of waterways in Argentina is already causing supply disruptions. Brazil is the largest exporter of soybeans, coffee, and sugar, and the second largest supplier of corn and iron ore. A drought in that country is exacerbating the crisis in the global supply chains for these commodities and raw materials. The familiar aromatic Brazilian coffee is becoming more expensive and has already become a scarce commodity. These are just a few examples amongst many. In the world, all supplies are links of one global chain. A breakdown in one of them poses a threat to the supply chain around the world. What awaits us? The permafrost melting threatens to have equally devastating consequences for millions of people living in the coldest regions of the planet. This problem will affect over 70% of the infrastructure in the polar cities of Russia, Canada, and the United States. And these processes can no longer be stopped regardless of future measures established by the Paris Agreements. According to the estimations made by scientists at the Russian Institute of the Earth's Cryosphere, the boundary of the permafrost zone has moved more than 30 kilometers to the north over the past 40 years. According to Dmitry Drozdov, director of the institute, this process is irreversible and it is impossible to stop it. Houses in permafrost land are installed exactly on 8-meter-long adfreeze piles. We have a thawing of up to 5 meters deep everywhere, so we are only 3 meters away from the critical point, said the director of the Environmental Education Center. Where are people supposed to go? After heavy rains and flooding of crops in the major vegetable province of Shandong, the cost of vegetables in the Chinese capital has risen sharply by almost 40% in just 1 month. In the opinion of China's popular microblog Weibo users, vegetables are now more expensive than the country's staple meat, pork. The sunny state of Texas appeared to be unprepared for the drastic changes in temperatures during the winter of 2021. In this typically warm southern state, the temperature dropped to minus 18 degrees Celsius. Due to high demand for indoor heating, the entire energy system failed, freezing in their own homes. Many people were forced to stay warm in their cars and cook food using candles.
Look at the water. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it at all. Look.
Because the pipes had burst from the frost, there were problems with the water supply, making people wait in line for hours to get drinking water.
My house has still water frozen. All the pipes are frozen, and I have 6 children to take care of.
The electricity crisis set in motion a chain of consequences that led to a humanitarian catastrophe. People were not prepared to face such abnormal conditions. There was no electricity for 3 days, no water for 3 days. I didn't have food for 60 hours, and I felt very bad. The residents of Texas could not have imagined that tomorrow they would be on the brink of survival.
Everything's flooded.
Today, climate anomalies are occurring all over the planet. Anyone can become trapped. That's what happened to the residents of the Chinese city of Zhengzhou in July 2021. As they stepped into the subway car, people had no idea what a nightmare this trip would turn out to be for them. And some of them would never come home to their loved ones again. Due to abnormal precipitation, a third of the annual rainfall fell within just 1 hour. Subway tunnels were flooded by the flash flood. Subway cars were blocked, and one of them ended up being submerged in water. I was very scared, but the most frightening thing was not the water, but the decreasing air supply in the car, said one of the subway passengers. Global climate change has already caused food shortages around the world, and the situation is worsening catastrophically. Will we have anything to eat and drink tomorrow? More than 1,140,000 people in Madagascar are desperately trying to survive the famine due to the drought.
We cut them like this, but this one can't be cut. It's as hard as a tree. Today we have absolutely nothing to eat except cactus leaves.
Hungry, homeless, and desperate people literally pounce on arriving humanitarian aid trucks that carry basic necessities and food. They snatch the bags from one another. Confrontations erupt, leading to fistfights. Even today, natural disasters are dramatically changing people's fates. A person finds himself alone with his grief. And the facts confirm this. Where should people caught in the epicenter of natural disasters go? After all, their losses from the raging disasters are incalculable. The consequences of climate change will not spare any of us. In the end, people may lose the most precious thing they have: life. Tomorrow, you may be faced with the question, how can I survive? Natural disasters take us off guard, and as a consumer society, we are failing to cope with that. And this is our reality. But we still have our only chance to survive, and that is to build the creative society. What kind of society we choose, such will be our future. And today, this choice depends on each and every one of us.
Дорогой друг, кадры, которые мы только что
Dear
увидели,
friend, the footage we have just seen very widely shows that soon one of us may face a problem where you become a refugee. And realizing that this is happening all over the world, friends, we urgently need to change the format of society in which we exist today, where every human is for himself, where we don't care what happens on another continent, where children die of hunger and some people have problems of water scarcity and that they lose their homes. We need to stop being indifferent and we need to build a new format of society, the creative format, where human life becomes the main value, where it comes first. And the creative society and the 8 foundations of creative society are the only adequate, necessary, and the way out for all of us to unite around a common goal. And this is what all people want. Today, everybody really understands that if we unite, if we are one society, one civilization, we can confront these challenges. Look at this shot that we have just seen. We see that the climate is already killing people, destroying their homes, destroying their way of life, and these are facts that the witnesses, our guests, have just told us about. Are you ready to step into their shoes? Are you ready to experience what these people are experiencing today? And the most important, friends, are you sure that there are those organizations that we pin our hopes on, that we shift our responsibility, and that they take care of someone, and that they will take care of us in case of emergency? Because it is obvious today this is not going to happen, that it is up to drawing people to save themselves today. We ourselves need to stand up for each another, and the creative society is a format in which all resources will belong to humanity, where there will be distributed equally among all inhabitants of the earth, where technology will serve to benefit everyone, because we have so much great technology already, and they could already save the lives of millions of people who are in dire climatic situations today. But in consumerism format of society, these technologies are not used because they're not simply profitable. And those who prioritize money and corporate profits. Friends, let's start acting together to build the creative society, to make the 8 foundations of creative society our guarantee, the guarantor of our prosperity society and our survival.
The absurdity of the consumer format of society is that we have everything. We could even feed all the hungry people on earth. We've got technologies and everything. The only thing that we don't have is unification. We are separated and divided. We are divided to countries. We are divided to races. We are divided to religions and to all kinds of different groups, you know. And the only thing how we can survive what's coming up on us is that if we unite. And now we've got our further questions for our dear guests. So Hassan, what do you think? Why it is important? Why it is vitally important to spread this message that it's critical for us to unite in order to survive and build creative society?
We can try our best to pass this message, the creative society message, to the people to understand, if they can understand these things. It's better everyone can understand the creative society, because in future it's the only way to live a life. Because I am trying to pass this message everywhere with my friends and with the youth as well, to join and to know about the creative society, what's going on future, what we will do for our future, so how we can live. So we are starting to learn. I am still learning the creative society. I'm going deep and deep in this. So it's important for everyone to know about the creative society. We can implement it everywhere around the world.
Yes, absolutely agree that nowadays it is very important for everyone to learn about the creative society, to learn about the 8 foundations that are really the pillar for every person that can take our consumer format in a completely different direction to make our world creative, to make housing, education, medicine, and all these essentials for everyone to feel safe and happy in our world, affordable and worthy. After all, we are born just to survive, to feel the joy of this life. As Sahil said today, how can I enjoy my life if my loved ones are far away? Am I only designed to survive? And should I be happy about it? So what stated by the organizations he turned for help, for the opportunity, isn't this not slavery? Sahil, I'd also like to turn to you and ask how important is it to talk about the truthful situation that you have already voiced today, that people are facing today? Because if we don't keep quiet, things will change very quickly. What is happening today, these horrible, blatant facts of injustice, is the fact that our freedoms are being taken away from us. After all this comes precisely from our acquaintances. Could you please share how important to talk about this information?
Well, I think the first step is that we should talk with the people. I experience it when there are many people that think it is the reality, it is the rule that we are facing to. We should accept it. But in reality, in the fact, it's not truth. It's the things that the government, something like forcing us to accept this rule, for example. The first thing, but we should understand the people that this is not your right that you are living with. For example, a refugee, when he's stuck in Indonesia, or for example in Pakistan, in India, or anywhere, for a long time stuck there, when a person talk to them, you should not stay silent. You should walk, stand up. You should ask your right. You are human, and you have the human right as well. At that time, we will have a creative society when the people understand their own right. To be honest, I saw it here. Many refugees don't know about their own rights. Before we started this demonstration, they thought that this is the rule. We should stay silent. It is the rule of inertia. We should wait a long time. When I talk to them, hey man, do you know what is the responsibility of inertia? What is the real job of inertia? Did you read somewhere about the rule of inertia? About the what is the own job of inertia that should do for refugees? They don't know. They said, we don't know. When we talk to them, now they understand. They are no more active than me now. Really, they are more active than me right now. So, we cannot, when we understand one person go understand to another, it step by step go better. And then we have a good society. At the end, I want to add something about the support of IAM that I mentioned. the last questions. All the refugees are not under the support of IOM in Indonesia. Those who can get that $90 a month that spend 2 years in the detention center. What is detention center? That you cannot go out in 2, 3, 4 years. I was in detention center about 2 years and 3 months. When at that time also I got my refugee card. I had my refugee card. I wasn't asylum seeker. You know, when the person come, first of all, they are asylum seeker. After getting interview from an UNHCR, and they are checked the interview, and then they give the refugee card. At that time, the refugee are allowed to live like others, free, a normal life. But I was kept in the detention center. I didn't see I didn't see city. I didn't even see a car. About 2 years and 3 months. I spent that much of my age in the detention center because of getting the support of IOM. Because I don't have anyone to support me here. And the role of regulation here is Indonesia. Indonesia didn't sign Convention 1951. They says we are not responsible for refugees. We just signed that refugees are here as a transit, not anymore. That you don't have any right in Indonesia, and also the government of Indonesia are not responsible for the refugees. So the rest of 40% refugees are living by themselves. Yeah, they all live freely in Jakarta. I saw them. I saw their videos because they are supported by their family. Where is their family? Before, for example, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, their family went to Australia, to Europe, to America like this. They sent money for them, and they are living by themselves in Jakarta. But the refugees like me should stay here as like a present. Now, I'm so sorry I have to go because my roommates already slept. I have only one room, but we don't have, unfortunately, an extra room to continue. I'm really sorry because of this. I text already to Natalia and talked about this because my roommate, you can see, where is did you see?
Yes.
Yeah, he's already asleep, and tomorrow we have a demonstration as well. And 9 o'clock we should be there, start demonstration, and I should be there because I'm the coordinator. At the end, thank you so much for you guys. Thank you so much for your kind hearts. I'm sure, to be honest, when we see like this meeting, some hope become alive in our heart. We understand that yes, humanity is still alive. There are some people that working for humanity. And thank you so much, guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, Sahil. Thank you very much for your honest answer. And I fully agree that we need to stop being silent. We need to talk to each other, because only by interacting with each other we find out that we are very close to each other. and we gain this hope, hope for the things to get better. And not only hope, but by acting, we really have the power to improve things and change all of the things. And our last question goes to Hassan. Sahil mentioned that it's important not to be silent. Do you think that if we remain everything as it is, we do nothing, and we just leave all the things like they are, do we have any chance as a humanity to survive? And can we even be called ourselves as a civilization if we put the money on the first place?
Well, I agree with the Sahil as well. It's important to tell the things, the truth, not be a silence. You can't stay silent. If today you are silent, maybe the same. If you are now, you are in a city or like a civilization. Maybe tomorrow is I don't know what will be going tomorrow. So yeah, everyone need to do these things. Yeah, everyone knows about these. So I am agree with Sahil. Sahil is telling right. So we can.
Friends, thank you so much. Hassan, thank you. Sahil, thank you. Thank you for keeping your spirits up and finding the strength not only to continue to act, to continue to live, but also to find the strength to inspire other people, to help them and to bring truth to people. Thank you. Because today, information is something really important. It is crucial for everyone today to know and understand what is really going on. After all, we see that the media does not tell the truth, does not show the whole truthful situation, and it is very important by this way, from heart to heart, from every person, not to keep silent but to speak, to tell the truth, to bring it to everyone. If we don't know what's going on, if we are shown a false situation, they show us that everything is good, that organization work, that everyone is protected, and they work to do the best to their ability, help to provide, then people do nothing. Everything seems to be fine, but when we see such true stories, when we see the obvious facts, when we can hear and understand that this is truly reality, then we can act, we can understand that this is all the absurdity of today's format, and we can begin to talk, begin to raise these uncomfortable questions and to build creative society together. Now, it is very important for each of us to deliver this message to the whole world about the real picture that is happening around the globe. It is terrifying, but also gives us all an understanding that it's time for us to unite. It's time for us to wake up and to realize that we can survive on our own. We simply won't stand a chance if we're divided, if we don't help each another, but together, united, we can build a creative society, we can put human life first, we can do everything in this world so that the value of human life is secured in every possible and impossible way.
Yes, and now everyone can be the voice of the truth, just like our two dear guests today, Sahil and Hassan, for which we are very thankful to you. And also you, my dear viewers, if you are a human being, don't be silent. Speak the truth to the world, to the entire world, and speak it everywhere, in all social media, on the streets. Speak what is happening to the people around you. Speak how entire cities are being demolished by climate disasters, and we are not ready to face this today. We urgently need to consolidate. We need to unite and build creative society. So you are mostly welcome to join the ranks of heroes.
it's my last word that I would say, I should become we. Then we will have a good society. Not always say I. No. I cannot, I only want. If I become we, so we will be success. How we can be we? When we talk to each other, when we understand each other, when we accept each other without any skin color. We should not look to his color of his skin. We should not look to face. We should not look to religion. Because our own religion, the first we born human beings. We should not forget it. After that, we divide to different parts. First of all, really, humanity. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I should go. Next time, hope you meet you guys. You're amazing, guys. Hope you meeting next time. Sorry, here is too late. It's past from 1.
Thank you, Sahil.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.
Спасибо огромное, Сахил. Спасибо за ваше
Thank you so much, Sahil. Thank you so much for a beautiful message of unity and humanity. Thank you so much to all the people. And today, millions of people right now are preparing for the biggest strategic event of all, which will be held on May 7th, 2022. It will be the forum, Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live. For the first time in history, all of humanity is facing a common external enemy, and that enemy, dear friends, is climate. In the face of planetary danger, it is necessary to unite all people for the future of humanity, because we are people and we want to live. Join the efforts of people from all over the world. Join the ranks of heroes. With you, dear friend, we can do so much more. Today is the time not to be silent, but to speak loudly. Thank you, dear friends, for being with us today, and see you soon again.
Thank you very much.